not there, but I think Aaron Rodgers will be the starting quarterback for his final year in Green Bay with that football team. But to quote quote Dale Hughley, Jordan Love starting quarterback this year for the Packers. No, he's got to wait until 2022 for that to happen and take over that organization.
All right, and speaking of the Packers, the reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers, seems to be stress-free despite the speculation surrounding his absence at minicamp last week. Here's Rodgers on having some downtime.
It's been one of those quiet off seasons you just dream about, where you can just kind of go through your process on your own quietly. And, that's all you can ask for as an older player in the league and someone who's been around for a long time and just enjoys that time to yourself, to just relax, to not be bothered, to not have any obligations or anything going on. And, I think that's what this offseason's been about. It's been about really enjoying my time and spending it where I want to spend it and not feeling like I have to go anywhere, not having any responsibilities, but still being an NFL player.
All right, the man is straight chilling, no stress. Now, let's welcome in former Super Bowl champ Jeff Saturday, who also played with Rodgers in Green Bay. Man, Monica, are Rodgers and the Packers done? It doesn't seem like there's any issue on Rodgers' end.
Listen, this is done for me. I got 2 breakup songs that were beautiful songs, but that are relevant. To the left, everything you own in a box to the left, okay? And then I'm serving you some Maxwell Pretty Wings. Let those pretty wings flap around, set you free. Remember that song? It was so pretty, but it was actually a breakup song. This is done to me. I don't know why people think that Aaron Rodgers is playing around. We were all sort of taken aback when Le'Veon Bell held out when he was with the Pittsburgh Steelers, particularly at the running back position. We know how important quarterbacks are in this league. And if anybody has sort of the cachet to be able to pull this off, both financially and the credit in terms of his game, Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys. And so for me, this is a done deal. I think that he has absolutely dug in. I think he is setting a precedent moving forward. And it's an era of player empowerment. I don't think that there's any coming back from this. And the little shots flying in the media are certainly not helping mend the wound.
These two need marriage counseling where they can go and be with a mediator and say, what do you like about her? What do you like about him? Well, he has a nice phone voice. She does a great job making sure managing the house. Whatever they got to do, they got to find some kind of marriage counseling. I still believe Aaron Rodgers is done with the organization in terms of the general manager and Mark Murphy, the president. They have not done themselves any favors. Why are you bringing up, well, the late Ted Thompson told me that this Aaron Rodgers is a complicated fella. That's not the right way to start marriage counseling between the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. But I firmly believe that Aaron Rodgers knows that even if he gets traded somewhere else, he's not going to have it any better for one more year in Green Bay than he has with a football team that was top 5 in offense last year, played the NFC Championship game on their home field. And if Aaron Rodgers did not have a couple of interceptions, we could be talking about this team that was in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the pull of the teammates and the pull of the people that represent the Packers, meaning the fans, and he's talked about that. How many times have we heard from Aaron Rodgers that it's not about the organization, it's about treating people fairly? I don't think he wants to leave those guys behind. Money, he doesn't care about. Brian Gutekunst and Mark Murphy, he really doesn't care about. But the dudes that he's gone to battle with time and time again, he wants to make sure if I'm going to leave, I'm going to make sure I leave with 1 year for you guys. And if we win a championship, then I can just go off into the sunset and be done with it and move on to my next life.
Yeah, Fred, I agree with that. I think when you look at what the Packers have done to Aaron Rodgers, I think the relationship is poisoned between he and Mark Murphy, Gutekunst, the whole organization from the front office. I do think, though, when you bracket down into the coaches and the players, that's really where his loyalty lies. And I think for a guy who talks about how stand-up people should be and, philosophically, this is what we have to go and be about, and I think ultimately that loyalty, I mean, you saw all of his receivers held out for the OTA or didn't show up for the OTAs even when Jordan Love was there until it was a required mandatory minicamp, right? So when you look at what people have done, the team has kind of rallied around Aaron. So I think from his perspective, once you get to the season, but that's what it's going to require, getting to when you're playing meaningful games, I think that's ultimately when he gets in because he realizes if he plays even close to what he did last year, they have a real shot at getting to the Super Bowl. Last year, I think it was David Bakhtiari, honestly, the starting left tackle who was injured. Had he been there, I think you might have a different score for the Tampa Bay game. So when you look at this and how close they are, NFC Championship game the last 2 years, this team is right on the cusp. to go start again, especially once the season has started. There's no way Aaron goes in. It's not going to be a Tom Brady situation where he can bring guys with him. All of that is long past. So as I'm looking at this, I would say this is still the best opportunity to prove not only to the Packers but the entire league how good you are. And there's nothing better than publicly embarrassing your ex by going out on an all-time high, right? Being like, hey, got you a Super Bowl, got you to win. Still don't want to play for you. I'm done with the Packers and this organization. That's how I'm going to say goodbye. I think that rubs more salt in the wound than just holding out and not playing. I think he's too competitive. You know what I mean? I think those competitive juices flow. You want to be there, and you're getting older. Irrespective of how well you're playing, you know there's a clock on that as well. I think the competitive nature makes him jump in.
Saturday, I get you on the competitive nature, but I kind of feel like going and playing and being successful for this team is not how you stick it to them. Like, that's just not it for me. And we've heard so many times, and of course, you know, that guys say, you know, we're not getting into another dude's pockets when it comes to contract negotiations, so on and so forth. To me, he's already coming off of an MVP year and a divisional championship or whatever, being so close. He already has shown them what he's capable of. I think if he comes back this year, to me, that's like, okay, like it wasn't that bad. And at this point, in terms of all of the fuss that he's made, I just don't see how you walk this back if you're him. He's going to be an in-demand commodity. And so he'll have options, especially with the way that guys are taking care of their bodies. Like, I'm less concerned about the overall age. And I think he is more focused on really sticking into this organization. And whether he goes and wins a Super Bowl and then leaves, to me, that's not sticking into the organization, because Green Bay will be like, well, we got this championship. Thank you. See you later. That to me, that doesn't equate. Why would you do all of this if you still are going to come back and play because this is your best chance for a Super Bowl? Clearly, to me, he's willing to bet on himself.
And he's going to bet on himself with the Green Bay Packers, because that's the perfect way to stick it to an organization where you go out there, you win a championship, to Jeff Saturday's point, and then you say, okay, good luck without me. I'm taking the car. I'm not taking the kids, but I'm going to be okay. Good luck trying to manage this house without me. Good luck with that, because we don't know that Jordan loves the unknown. I'm a big believer. Jeff knows me. Fear the known, leave the unknown alone. I know the known in Aaron Rodgers. And if you're the Green Bay Packers, you should know the known as well. If you don't know the known by now, then the unknown is going to frighten you to death when Aaron Rodgers leaves after next season.
Yeah, and I think it will speak volumes not only for Aaron Rodgers, but to the fan base of Green Bay, that he's willing to just. And I think that persona and that the way people view him from his fans and his teammates is important to him, right? And when you think about it, he's already made it clear he doesn't like the front office. He's made that even back to the Kenny Mayne interview, right? It's clear where he is, but ultimately he wants to show his guys, hey man, I'm with you, I'm gonna ride with you, and I think that's how he finishes this thing out.
All right, and the shirt that he wore during that video conference said, I'm offended. Maybe that's all he really has to say. All right, Jeff, thank you so much for your time and also your insight. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all.
North Carolina in the house.
Let's keep it moving, the debate of young quarterbacks.